Good morning, viewers. This is Roslyn in Rose Poetry, talking about poetry, poems, and poets. Unless you're looking for a definition of poetry, we all know, and I can say that poetry has no one set definition because it can mean so many things to different people. Shadow poetry defines poetry as the art of writing thoughts, ideas, and dreams into imaginative language which may contain verse, meter, repetition, rhyme, and many tools, as you may call. So, how do you write a poem? There is no one way, and certainly no best way. Just as there are many ways that can lead to one destination, so it is with poetry. It should be interesting or meaningful. It could be as small as a haiku of 17 syllables in 3 lines. It could be as big as a verse in book form as we have religious texts. We read and listen. We can write on any topic. It not only helps you discover things about yourself in the process, also for the reader or listener, it gives an insight into the writer's views and thoughts. Here I read to you a few quotes on poetry. Poetry to me is a complete release of my unhappiness, joy, and my inner soul whispers, says Mason Johnson. Poetry is the expression in language of all things that is beautiful, painful, real, and imagined that makes life worth living, says Teresa King. The written form of self, and if I hate the words, I can't deny the letters, says Jacqueline Bennett. Poetry is the highest form of human expression, says Dave Charlin. Poetry is the voice of the mind, insanity, needed to keep the subconscious demons from surfacing in other malignant forms, says Christine Ann Kelly. Poetry is the echo of life, the soul's voice, says B.R. Jordan. Is an ode to dreamers is an example of his poem which I'd like to read out here. When dreamers dream and lovers love, do they receive their visions from heaven above? Or do they originate where all things start? Within our minds, within our hearts. I know not all, but what I do know is this: you cannot build a kingdom upon a flimsy wish. So believe in your dreams, follow them blind, lest you lose them all to the hands of time. Is his poem on an ode to dreamers. Poetry to me is an outlet. It is the only way I can express my innermost thoughts and feelings and still be able to feel good and smile, says Jody Cooperage. Poetry is the bleeding of poet's soul, a release of emotions, says Mary Summers. And poetry, to me, is about emotions, is about feelings of being happy and contented, anger, anything I feel strongly about. So a poem is something anybody should try and write. For we are all creatures with feelings, and we can write. It is not about how educated you are. It is not how well read you are. Write anyone can. It's just as you can draw or paint or dance or sing. You don't need to be a professional to do that. So it is with poems. Anybody could try a hand. That is what I feel. So, all of you must do it if you have not done it already. Thank you. Thank you for listening.